Hi everybody, Dhaman Mehta here, and thank you for once again joining me on my journey as I go through my favorites list on fanfiction.net. We're coming up very close to the end. There's After this, there should just be 3 more videos for this series, so I am excited. It's been a long journey, right? Going through all these, and yeah, it's gonna feel different when I finish, but yeah, right now. I got 7 stories for you, I believe. So let's dive in. Starting with To Be or Not to Be is Not the Question, but the Answer by A World Not So Simple 00. This is a Persona crossover with Ruby, where Minato, after, being, after Persona 3 for a while, gets sent to the world of Ruby, ostensibly to help Ospin and work as his fixer. The thing with this is it's a very slow paced story that is incomplete. That's not a good mix because slow pace plus incomplete means it's probably not going anywhere satisfying, right? I go 10 chapters into this story that is 18 chapters written, and we've barely passed initiation despite starting on the ride to school. So in 2 days, over 10 chapters, which is 150,000 ish words. It's a lot of stuff where just nothing happens. The problem is the author spends so much time having Minato think about or have psychological discussions with everybody he meets, but doesn't progress relationships. He's just psychoanalyzing individual minutia and word choices or things like that, and it's just kind of tedious. Not kind of, it becomes very tedious, and I just found myself growing more and more bored as I struggled to continue this story for another long chapter that ended up going nowhere. So yeah, this is gonna fall off my list. Number 2 is Hyoudou Issei, True Lucky Pervert of Infinity by Silent Songbird. This is a high school DxD fic where basically Issei just gets all the tropes of the anime thing of as it says, lucky pervert. So it's just any situation that could be turned into a erotic in any erotic way that would benefit him in some way happens, and he's still as perverted and likes those things and doesn't take it as a passe, so it still makes kind of sense, but it also just grew very one note very quickly, just where it's literally he'll talk to a girl and then they'll just immediately be covered with white stuff, whether it be egg yolk or whatever, but that'll happen, and it's just oh yay, and just yay, haha, that's kind of if she was covered in that, whatever. It's just it's the same joke hit over and over and over again, and it just grew monotonous and dull, so it's gonna fall off my list. Number 3 is Brightest in Shadow by Ethan Mortis. This is a Harry Potter crossover fic where Harry basically ends up traveling the multiverse and then gathering, a group of people to be a superhero group as he's trying to find his way back to his home universes, and while saving people from universes that they're kind of lost or they have nothing left for them with or whatever, so they can travel as well. And I like that kind of plot. First of all, I'm a big fan of I like fix-it stuff or things like that, and saving people. I also like the concept of the multiverse and multiverse hopping, which I've probably shown in my choices in the past previously. But yeah, I love this kind of stuff, and yeah, this is great. The characters are all fun. It starts off as mainly as Harry as the main character, but as the other people join his team, they become they not become characters. They were always, they honestly, as each one gets introduced, they are characters in their own right. They never get relegated to just becoming a tool in Harry's tool belt of being hey, I'm here, let me sick Beast Boy over there to solve that problem and do that. No, like Beast Boy's still his own person, and so it's just a lot of fun. And the worlds that they've picked, granted, a lot of them have also been like things that I enjoy. Ruby, like the new Tomb Raider series, Worm being the current arc and stuff. Like I liked it a lot. Yet there's not something mind-blowingly amazing and stuff, and certain bits do feel a little bit rushed, but I think this is still a really good story that keeps me engaged. And like I said, I like the main gimmick and jump chain arc and stuff. So I really enjoyed it. It's gonna stay on my list. Next is Magic School Days by Dodger 807. This is a Harry Potter My Little Pony crossover where the Cutie Mark Crusaders just ask Discord to send them to magic school, and they end up going to Hogwarts when Harry is starting. And this is similar to the first story. This is a story that could be considered slow in that it's like 500,000 words long, and it goes from basically the start of their first year, so September, to the Christmas vacation, so like 4 months, in 500,000 words. But at the same time, things happen. Like basically, it's not in the sense of like no downtime, because like but it's like it's a slice of life thing where there's always like kinds of hijinks or like fun stuff happening, as well as actual like plot progress and things going on, and it's just going consistently over every other day. And so that's just cool. Like the story's great. Like the Cutie Mark Crusaders are fun as characters, and their craziness and My Little Pony behavior and stuff ends up going into like converting all the other like Gryffindor first years into their kind of behavior and their logic, and and then it expands even further to like all the adults of the Wizarding World, and eventually the whole world itself. The kids are all having fun with like a lot of crazy adventures, casually causing chaos for all the adults, and then the adults also just like, while having to deal with that, are also getting their own kind of fun wackiness happening because of like the disconnect between Equestria's culture that this author has set up and the Harry Potter world culture. It's all just fun shenanigans. The story's events are nicely paced, even though like things are happening every single day. It also doesn't. It still feels like understandable and not too much in a way. Like, and it work. The humor I feel like lands pretty well. It works like as a good like. If this was a series that like they're making the new Harry Potter series, this would work as a great season 1 for like what they were doing for like this concept. I enjoyed a lot, highly recommended this, and it has a sequel where they continue it. I like this a lot. It's going to stay on my list. Next is The Unrelenting Frozen Seas, The Trials by Engineer Forever. This is the second book in Engineer Forever's female Harry as Poseidon's daughter story. So this is enjoyable. Based on this is the Road, which is from Harry's name, is still my second favorite of the three of Engineer Forever's stories. And mainly again, like this one's more interesting than my least favorite, which is the son of Zeus, the daughter of Zeus story, because again, like this is changing canon. It's different stuff. Like yes, it deals with Harry's 4th year, but also it's still pre Percy Jackson books stuff. So the Percy Jackson story is original, and also like the way she's been dealing with everything, the Harry Potter storyline also changes in a significant way. I think it works. She's still her own character, and based on her past experiences, different from base Harry in a way, and also works as being different from Percy as well, which is going to be which will be interesting. Going into the next sequel to this, which is not on my list, but he is working on the 3rd book of this story right now. So yeah, I did like this. Actually, sorry, not even one sequel. There's two sequels to this. Um, but yeah, I like this, and as a continuation of the story. So yeah, it's gonna stay on my list. Number 6 is Bird of Prey by a dyslexic writer. This is a Fate Stay Night and Sekirei crossover where Shiro enters the Sekirei game, but the author tries to nerf his harem aura by putting him into the body of like a child cloned Sekirei, so a female body, so he doesn't have his Gar aura and of his natural body. And yeah, he still starts. Shiro still starts gaining essentially a harem with like one of his own Sekirei and stuff, and just being cute and everything. I like it a lot. This, Shiro's interactions with um, the Sekirei group she finds herself with are adorable, and also like the group itself is a group that didn't really get focused on in the Sekirei stories I read. She ends up with the rich kid group, Mikogami, I think his name is, like that group, which is not a group that the Sekirei fics I've read mostly like think about. He usually gets dealt with very quickly or just ignored. But yeah, all the characters there play off of each other very well, and also Shiro gets confirmation that he is in his old world after his like reincarnation, where he gets shunted into this body, and he calls in like gets in some interaction with like Waver and Tosaka, which was fun. I wish the author had continued, because like literally they were about to like basically like the Fate Stay Night people were probably going to just start entering Shin Tokyo and dealing with the plot more directly in very soon. But the main thing I'm complaining about is not having enough, and like there is like a bit of plot, but it's mostly the main thing that I find enjoyable about this is like the humor and the fun just interactions and jokes here. So I enjoyed this a lot, and it's gonna stay on my list. All right, and the last one for this video is Y13 by Nunnery Nathan 999. This is another Persona and Ruby crossover, similar to the first story in this video, and again it's with Minato from Persona 3. However, instead of starting after the events of Persona, this actually starts when like Yang and Minato, them being the same age, are like, I think they're meant to be like 12 or 13 years old initially, and like it turns up they are going to the same school and they became friends, and eventually becoming boyfriend and girlfriend as Minato and Yang. And for the first large portion of it, it's like essentially a slice of life story with Minato and Yang hanging out and growing up, and also dealing with like Yang's family, who end up like essentially not essentially, they do end up adopting Minato to like be a part of the family when they're a kid, and it's all nice and homely, but it's also a little boring. It like I enjoyed bits of it. Like it has cute moments. I just grew bored with the pacing, because like again, this is the thing where it's like of the 31 chapters that are there, it was like 15 chapters, and it's still pre canon and stuff, and that's fine. If this was pure slice of life and stuff, that could work too, but it also wouldn't be something because there's no big like funny moments or really super sweet like tooth chattering like sweet moments. It's something that I enjoy passively as like a story that I don't mind like checking in on when it updates, or just like casually running on, but it's not something I want to revisit and constantly look for and say, hey, let's do this, and like really look into again to be a comfort thing. It's also unfinished. Like the author just got to the start of Beacon when they stopped writing, so yeah, it's not bad, but it's not something I want to search to revisit and come back to again and again, so it's going to fall off my list. And there we have it. Fanfiction status time. This video makes 1,222 stories that I've read, and 565 of them have managed to stay on my list. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I have as always, I leave links to these stories in the description, as well as like all the other links to like place where I wrote all these reviews down, the playlist that has all the videos in order for this whole journey and stuff. I've got 20 more stories, I believe, left on my favorites list. So yeah, this is coming to a close soon. So 3 more videos. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Take care.